Joe Cracker, Chelsea go there in good form. City look just fantastic, don't they? They've had a few days off. How do you see it? Do you see Chelsea getting something up there?
Well, Alan, they have to. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm doing the game for BT, and it's one of them where you get excited all week. It reminds me of the Liverpool-Chelsea game a few weeks ago, where the quality was so high. I think both these teams, Chelsea and Man City, are outstanding. Man City, you have to give them credit for putting the run together they've been on. That, when they get into this rhythm under Pep, it's very hard to break them. But for Chelsea now, I wouldn't say it's a must win. It's certainly a must not lose to keep the title race going. But and when these two heavyweights go at it, anything can happen. I'm so excited for the game.
Joe, your pal, ex-teammate Steven Gerrard, gone in at Villa, brought in Coutinho amongst other players. What do you make of his start to his Villa time as manager, and how do you think they'll do under him over the coming months and years?
Well, I think he's been outstanding, Trev. I mean, we both played with Steve. I played with Steve. I've known him a long time, and you had no doubts that when he goes into something, he does it with such intensity. And I listened to him speak the other day, and he just sounded like he's been at this management game for about 20, 30 years. He just seems so seasoned. He's just and the signing, and that's what he brings you. Would Coutinho have looked at Villa as an option without Stevie there? Probably not. Luca Digne, great signings, and I think Villa will be the team to watch in the second half of the season. I think he's great for the English game that our outstanding players of the yesteryear are now being given the opportunities and to become great managers, and he hasn't put a foot wrong. I think he's been brilliant.
Joe, just going back to City Chelsea, we're all intrigued with the midfield area because we know Chelsea are very, very strong in there as well. We saw how they won the ball against Spurs in midweek and keep it and frustrate the midfield from Spurs. And we know Man City got a great midfield. Who do you think will get on top in that midfield? Kovacic and Jorginho, and then you're playing against Mount. You've got some really top players in that midfield area.
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed Covey yesterday for the show tomorrow, and it was really interesting hearing him talk about that. They're very aware that is the key part of it, because Man City overload. They'll try and pin you back with possession, and then they've got rotations in there. So you can't have a bad touch in that midfield, can you? Because both teams are unbelievable at pressing, unbelievable. It's gonna that whoever wins that battle is gonna be. I think that's where the game's won. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Tuchel doesn't tweak it a little bit, maybe puts an extra body in there, because like I said, with this Man City team, with a rhythm that when they go on these runs, you have to adjust to them. You can't just play your normal game because they've got an answer for everything. But so I think it's going to be tactically intriguing how Thomas Tuchel sets up in this game.
Yeah, I agree. Joe, just on last night, it was quite clear, talk about Salah and Manning missing. Dear, oh dear, Liverpool. Yeah. Look, it's only one off and they're entitled to a bad game now and again, but that was poor from Liverpool. Well done, Arsenal. But the importance of Manny and Salah, I'm just thinking of Chelsea, Rudiger now. All the vibes coming out of Chelsea, Rudiger could be off. I think it'd be a massive... Don't get me wrong, you may say Drake, but I think this could be a massive miss. Chelsea have to keep him, don't they?
Yeah, I think they do, Alan. I think Chelsea have got it's been a lovely settled ship for about a year, hasn't it? And then you got the boys with the contracts negotiating, and these things they take time, don't they? I mean, you had the Thiago Silva contract, Cesar, Rudiger, and they're trying to juggle it and trying to get the recruitment right for next season. But one thing I would say, I think all four of the lads who are coming to the end of their contract, I think their professionalism's been spot on. Their performances haven't dropped. From Chelsea's perspective, I think Rudiger's been one of the outstanding players of the last, certainly the Thomas Tuchel reign. So he's a big player, big character, and it'd be one they'd be looking to keep. I think I don't see it. I don't see that affecting his performance, which is the main thing. And I think he'll be I think he'll stay. I really do. I think he's found a home there. He's loved by the club, and I think
Fans, yeah.
Yeah, I fancy he stays. But listen, I don't know nothing. I just feel when you're at a club like Chelsea, you're champions of Europe. There's not many places that can turn your head. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
The grass is not greener. Just talking about recruitment, one of the new recruitments at Chelsea, Lukaku, came out with a few comments a couple of weeks ago. What do you think he needs to do now, or has he done that by apologising to win the Chelsea fans back over? And how impressed were you with Thomas Tuchel and the way that he handled the situation?
Yeah, again, you look at
what's he doing, Joe?
You look at the situation, and Trev, we've all made mistakes, haven't we? And in interviews and said things we shouldn't have done as young footballers and experienced footballers. And I think Chelsea handled it really well. I think maybe years ago Chelsea this thing might have lingered on and might not. But I think Thomas Tuchel's just had the conversation, hit it head on. I think he left him out for a game, and then he's come back, and then he's and he just needs to get back to doing what he does, scoring goals, don't he? And I've seen, and I've looked at body language in the game, and I think he's right. He's on it. He's had a little injury, hasn't he? And I think that affected him. But I think the club handled it well. I think Big Rom handled it well. I think I still stand by the fact I think he'd be a big player for the club for many years. I just think he just it's been a bit of a stop-start for him. But I think he's a leader. He looks like a leader.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.